Okay, now we are looking at the rubric as promised in the first video. I am going to take you through the rubric that we will be using to mark your assignment. We created this rubric so that we are transparent and you know exactly how you will be marked. Now, the rubric is divided into the following sections as level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, as you can see. And on the other side, we have the skills that are tested. The first skill that we want to test is the depth of understanding of the question. How well did you understand the question? The other skill is the focus on the key areas: purpose, audience, language, features, and text type. I think we should have here and text type. So we are going to be looking at those to see if you have, let me just tap this quickly, if you have shown or demonstrated that you are focusing on these features that the question asks you to do. And the last skill is the use of language. Now, I'll just take you through each of the skills across the levels. If your depth of understanding demonstrates a thorough understanding of what the question is about, then your mark will range between 9 to 10. If your depth of understanding demonstrates a thoughtful understanding, a thorough understanding, a thoughtful understanding, or a basic understanding, or little to no understanding. So this is how the marks will be distributed. The same will apply to the second skill, the focus. In the focus on the skills, the highest level is all the features are covered. There's an in-depth discussion of each of the features with exceptional focus and with exceptional use of relevant, insightful substantiation of examples from the text that you've given. That is why it is important that you give us the text, submit the text. If you don't submit the text, we won't be able to mark your assignment. So the next skill level is the level 2, where we are looking now at whether the focus is good, and it mostly is support. It mostly shows that the examples have been drawn from the text, and there's a reasonable substantiation and of those examples. So maybe we could add here with supported with example from this text and demonstrating reasonable. No, it can't be reasonable here. Of course, reasonable isn't there. No. Demonstrating a high level, of understanding of each of these aspects. So, in other words, the levels seem to just drop a little. In the first one, it's exceptional. In the second one, it's good, and in the third one, it's reasonable. Some things are vague. The substantiation is poor, and in the last one, it's weak, it's vague, it's incomplete, and there's little substantiation or little focus on the text itself. And the last block looks at the way in which your language is used. This is a language module, and we are interested in rewarding good language, because that's what we are teaching, unfortunately, and we cannot compromise that at any point. So if you are going to get a mark between 9 and 10, we are happy that you have used stylistically correct language, sophisticated language, precise language, engaging language, and we can hear your voice, in the writing, and also that you have used varied types of sentences to show that you have a good handle, an exceptional handle of the language. as we go down the use of language, there's evidence that, you are there, the language is original, there's a reasonable use of language, and it's still good. In the next level, the use of language is rather basic, but it still makes a lot of sense. The sentences, are varied, but not, to the degree that they would be varied in the first two. But the key there is that the language is basic. Maybe the errors are not as overwhelming, but they are there all the same. The errors may not necessarily be impeding meaning. And the last one is obviously the vague one, the imprecise, with a language that makes very little sense or no sense at all. And the writer, you in this case, are not demonstrating that you are actually writing to an audience, which is us, and you are telling the story of your text. So we've tried to make it quite exciting, even for the markers, marking through your work. But look, you can look at this rubric and check whether your assignment fits this, and you should have an understanding of where your assignment will be placed if you did all this. The first skill is worth 10 marks. The second skill is worth 30 marks. That is the bulk of the marks. And the last skill is worth 10 marks. And I think this is the best explanation one can give, just to make sure that you are in control of your own work. You know what you're doing, you know how you're going to be assessed, and you try and comply to the requirements of this assignment. I hope this helps a lot, and once again, good luck.